My favourite website probably has to be youtube.com for my students, because I send them there for self-study, vocabulary, grammar exercises, grammar explanations, pronunciation practice. Sometimes I use in the class YouTube clips and channels, but usually it's more for preparation for a lesson or for follow-up to watch at home after the lesson. And also for me, because I don't really watch much TV these days. So for documentaries, I love watching vlogs, information videos. TV from the UK now is on YouTube. There's also music. And I use a device called Chromecast, Google Chromecast, which attaches to the back of my TV so that I can beam anything from my phone or tablet onto the TV. And I find that much, much better than Spanish TV. A gadget I can't live without has to be the mobile phone. I pretty much use my mobile phone for everything during the day: note-taking, lesson planning, entertainment, listening to podcasts, communication. It's just amazing to have that tiny computer that's so powerful in your pocket with you as you go through the day and as you're working. And I've even started to use mobile phones in the class with my students because they all have them. And I think rather than telling them to turn them off, if we can incorporate mobile phones into classroom teaching, it's an incredibly powerful thing. What would I not throw away? Quite a few things, but one thing springs to mind that I have here is my big slipper. It's a bit dirty, so I apologise for that, but it doesn't really get that cold in Spain. Although I'm working at home in the flat quite a lot at the computer, and even with thick socks on, I find my feet getting cold. So I put my feet in the big slipper, fur-lined, as you can see. It also plugs into the electric, so they get really toasty as I'm sitting at my desk and doing my work at home. So I could not live without my big slipper, and I don't think I'll be throwing this away anytime soon, at least before April. What inspires me, or who inspires me? My student feedback. Not only feedback from students I'm teaching in the classroom when they pass an exam, if they manage to get a job, that makes me very, very happy that their English is at a level where they can improve their lives. But also we get a lot of feedback by email and voice messages from our podcasts from students all over the world. Spanish speaking students in Latin America are constantly writing and telling us that we're helping them to improve their English level. And every time I read or listen to their feedback, their audio feedback, it motivates me to create more content and to teach and keep teaching. Useful teaching tool. Again, I have to go back to the mobile phone. Everything seems to be switching and moving on to mobile now. So because the students have their mobile phones on them 24/7, there's no excuse for them not to be able to improve their listening using mobile phones, listening to podcasts, accessing YouTube and online video. And I think the mobile phone is an incredibly powerful resource for student self-study. My favourite lesson, any lesson where there's high student engagement, anytime an activity is engaging the students and I notice that they're learning and having fun at the same time, just gets me there. It always has done, and even after more than 20 years teaching, when those activities are working and the students are having fun and there's learning going on in the classroom, I still get a little bit emotional, still a little tear appears here, and I absolutely love it when that happens. The favourite bit about my talk, Q&A at the end, the questions that hopefully people ask at the end, that gives me a chance to speak about my favourite subject, which is podcasting, and also a chance to meet some of the audience and have a chat with them and find out what their concerns are, what their challenges are, around the talk that I have just given. A lesson you've learned while teaching. Guys, make sure your flies are done up if you go to the toilet before the class. Always check in the mirror after lunch. Make sure there's no pieces of lettuce or food or lunch left over in your teeth teachers tend to smile a lot in the class, even if they don't necessarily feel like smiling. Make sure they're nice and clean. Don't give your students any unnecessary surprises.